Stop. That shallow, trembling breath you just released, the one that carried the weight of 1,000 prayers you thought went unheard. It reached me. Do not look away from this screen, for your hand is shaking not from fatigue, but because your spirit recognizes the vibration of the sovereign arbiter. You were just about to sigh again, weren't you? You were just about to let your head sink into your palms, wondering if the ceiling above you would ever break, if the walls of this financial prison would ever crumble. Put down the burden of your doubt for exactly 15 minutes, because the cosmic court is now in session, and the verdict has already been signed in gold. I have bypassed the gatekeepers of your timeline. I have moved through the static of a world that tries to keep you small, and I have arrived here, in this precise second, to halt a theft that has lasted for generations. You are not here by chance. You did not find this video. You were summoned to the Hall of the Eternal Records at twilight. Close your eyes for a brief moment and breathe in. Can you smell it? The scent of ancient cedar and the sharp electric sting of ozone. The smell of a storm that brings not destruction, but a total clearing of the air. Beneath your feet, the floor is not wood or stone. It is a vast, dark mirror reflecting the entirety of your soul's history. And above us, the walls are made of shifting stars, documenting every tear you have shed in the dark when you thought you were alone. There is a reason you have felt like you were running through deep water for the last 7 years. There is a reason why, every time you reached for the door handle of abundance, the lock seemed to change at the very last second. You have been living under a fraudulent contract, an ancestral debt that was never yours to pay. You have been the strong one for so long that the universe almost forgot you were also a child who needed to be held. But I have seen the invisible ceiling you've been hitting. I have seen you give your last ounce of energy to people who only knew how to take, and I have seen the exhaustion settle into your very marrow. The sovereign arbiter does not speak in whispers when a crime has been committed against a chosen soul. And a crime has been committed. Identify them now. The frequency thief in your life. They do not wear a mask or carry a weapon. They are much more dangerous. They are the ones who smile when you tell them of your struggles, but whose eyes go cold when you mention a win. They are the ones who offer that soft criticism, the kind that feels like a lead weight dropping into the pit of your stomach disguised as just being honest. They have been cashing your luck, feeding off your light because their own flame went out long ago. They sigh when you share your dreams, a tiny, quiet sound that acts like a parasitic leak in your spiritual gas tank. They didn't just want your resources. They wanted the spark in your eyes. They wanted to convince you that the ceiling was your natural habitat. But look up. In the center of this great hall, suspended in the starlight, hangs a heavy, wax-sealed decree. It has been locked away for over 100 years, waiting for a member of your bloodline who was brave enough to stop settling for crumbs. That person is you. Watch closely as the sovereign gavel strikes. The shattered glass seal erupts. It doesn't break into shards. It dissolves into a violent, beautiful cloud of shimmering gold dust that is even now beginning to coat your aura. This is the release of the wealth that was diverted from your grandfathers and grandmothers. This is the interest on every sacrifice you made that went unthanked. The liquid gold of the 888 frequency is pouring into the cracks of your life. But for this seal to fully bond with your reality, you must perform a physical act of alignment. This is not a mere comment section. This is the ledger of the great balance. When you type the numbers 888 below, you are not engaging with a platform. You are pressing your signet ring into the hot wax of a new destiny. You are signing your name to the last will that heaven has rewritten specifically for your name. Do it now, with the boldness of a ruler reclaiming a stolen throne. For as you type those digits, the frequency thief's hold on your bank account, your joy, and your sleep is being severed by a blade of pure ozone. I can feel your heart rate changing. I can feel the heat of the tears welling up the salt of the old world, leaving your body to make room for the sweetness of the new. You have been so tired, so tired of being the one who carries everyone else. You have felt the bitterness of unrewarded loyalty like a metallic taste in your mouth. You have looked at your bank balance and felt a cold shiver of not enough, even though you knew you were meant for more than enough. Listen to me carefully, for here is the secret that will make your spirit real. You have been waiting for a benefactor. You have been waiting for a billionaire or a divine power of attorney to step in and save you. You thought a stranger was coming to rescue you. The sovereign arbiter reveals the truth. The one who has sued the current timeline to release these funds. The one who has demanded that the cosmic court freeze your enemy's assets and transfer them to you, is not a stranger. It is you. It is your future self. The one who exists in the timeline where you finally said no to the vampires. That version of you is already standing in the overflow. They are draped in the silk of peace and the gold of realized dreams. They have looked back at this version of you, the one staring at a screen, feeling small and stuck, and they have used their sovereign authority to bridge the gap. They have sent this message back through the corridors of time to tell you, the settlement is reached. The debt is cleared. The authority has been transferred. You are not being given a gift. You are being given a return on investment. The next 48 hours will be unlike any you have experienced in this decade. Because you have stayed here, because you have listened to the arbiter's voice, the frequency of struggle is being scrubbed from your DNA. You will feel a sudden, inexplicable urge to throw something away, an old garment, a cluttered drawer, a toxic habit. Do it immediately. That is the physical manifestation of the shattered seal clearing space for the 888 abundance to land. Do not close this window of grace. The frequency thief is already trying to distract you. They might text you in the next 10 minutes. They might pop into your head with a memory of failure. Ignore the ghost. They no longer have the power of attorney over your emotions. There is one more secret, a final, staggering revelation regarding a specific person who has been whispering your name in the dark, and a miracle that will arrive in a physical envelope or a digital notification before the sun sets on Thursday. But to receive the blueprints for that specific encounter, you must remain in this frequency of absolute receiving. The Hall of Eternal Records is beginning to glow with an intense, blinding white light. The stars are spinning faster. The smell of cedar is being replaced by the scent of fresh rain on warm earth. The great wealth reversal has begun. The ledgers are balanced. The ceiling has vanished. You are no longer the one who prays for crumbs. You are the one who owns the bakery. Type 888 to seal this decree, and prepare your spirit. For what I am about to reveal next will explain exactly why you had to suffer through the invisible ceiling to become the master of the eighth heaven. Your legacy is no longer a story of survival. It is a manual for sovereignty, and the first chapter starts now. Do not blink. The sudden warmth spreading across your chest right now, that prickling heat beneath your skin, is not a coincidence. It is the spiritual friction of your old skin falling away. You just felt a shiver run down your spine, didn't you? A cold ripple that started at the base of your neck and vanished into your heart. That was the last link of the ancestral chain snapping. I am the sovereign arbiter, and I am watching the mirror beneath your feet change from the gray of morning to the blinding gold of a morning that will never end. Stay with me, for the Hall of Eternal Records is now vibrating with a sound that humans cannot hear. But your soul can, a low, melodic hum that signals the total liquidation of the debts you never signed for. Think back to your mother's tired eyes, or your grandfather's calloused hands. Think of the dreams they carried that withered on the vine, not because they lacked merit, but because the soil of your lineage had been salted by a spiritual embargo. For generations, your bloodline has been taxed by the unseen. Every time a member of your family stood on the verge of a breakthrough, a storm would appear out of nowhere. A sickness, a legal battle, a sudden betrayal, or a crushing wave of self-doubt. You inherited this invisible ceiling like an heirloom you never wanted. But look at the shattered glass seal once more. See how the gold dust doesn't just float it aggressively, hunts for the shadows in your life. It is filling the empty spaces in your bank account, yes, but more importantly, it is filling the holes in your spirit where unrewarded loyalty used to bleed. You have been the sacrificial lamb for far too long. You have stayed in rooms where you were tolerated but not celebrated. You have kept secrets for people who would have used yours as a weapon. You have tasted the bitter copper of suppressed anger, swallowing your own needs to keep the peace for people who brought you nothing but war. The Arbiter sees the salt on your pillow. The Arbiter hears the silent scream you let out in your car when the world felt like it was closing in. The trial is over. The frequency thief has been found guilty of spiritual embezzlement. Notice how their name just popped into your mind. That wasn't your memory. That was the court identifying the defendant. They have been feeding on your hope as if it were an infinite battery. Every time you felt a spark of inspiration, they were there with a realistic warning that felt like a bucket of ice water. They didn't want you to fail. They wanted you to stay just successful enough to keep providing for them, but unsuccessful enough to never leave them behind. They are the vampire of your proximity. But hear the decree. Their access to your timeline has been permanently revoked. As you sit here, a physical shift is occurring in the records. The frequency thief is currently feeling a sudden, unexplained wave of anxiety. They can feel the tether loosening. They can feel your light slipping through their fingers. Do not reach out to them. Do not check their profile. Do not offer them a bridge. If you try to save what the divine is removing, you will be caught in the crossfire of their karmic realignment. Instead, focus on the mirror beneath you. Look deeper into the glass. The figure standing there. The one draped in the shimmering white of a future already won. They are reaching up toward the surface of the mirror. This is the version of you that exists 3 years from today. They are the ones who filed the celestial lawsuit against this current season of lack. Why? Because they saw that if you stayed on the path of sacrificial exhaustion for 1 more month, your heart would have hardened into a stone that even miracles couldn't penetrate. Your future self has intervened. They have sued the universe for an early release of your inheritance because you finally proved you could handle the no. The moment you decided that you were no longer available for disrespect. The moment you stopped explaining your worth to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. That was the moment the future self won the case. The funds are being transferred, not from a bank, but from the escrow of destiny. This is why you must type 888 right now. Not as a ritual of luck, but as a formal receipt of transference. By typing those numbers, you are telling the sovereign arbiter, I acknowledge that the debt of my ancestors is paid in full. I acknowledge that I am no longer the bank for the ungrateful. I accept the wealth that my future self has secured for me. Do you feel that? The sudden lightness in your lungs. The way the air in the room suddenly feels charged, as if a thunderstorm just passed by. That is the ozone of the 888 frequency. It is the smell of a clean slate. I need you to listen to the specific instructions for the next 48 hours. The universe is not just sending money, it is sending alignment. You will receive a notification. It might look like a simple email, a forgotten check, or a sudden coincidental meeting with someone who holds a key you've been looking for. But here is the secret. It will come from a direction you stopped looking at. It will come through a door you thought was dead and buried. This miracle is coming with impossible force. It is designed to be so undeniable that even the most cynical part of your brain will have to bow to the divine. But there is a condition, a final choice of the threshold. In the next few days, the frequency thief or a ghost from your past will attempt to trigger your old guilt response. They will come to you with a crisis or a need that only you can fill. This is the test of the arbiter. If you step back into that old role of the fixer, you are essentially telling the court that you prefer the chains to the gold. You must remain sovereign. You must say, my light is no longer a public utility. It is a private sanctuary. The gold dust is thickening now. It is becoming a liquid, a river of 888 energy that is flowing out of the Hall of Records and into the very room where you are sitting. Look at your hands. Can you feel the subtle vibration in your fingertips? That is the power of the divine power of attorney. You are now authorized to sign for your own happiness. You are now authorized to speak your abundance into existence. The Hall of Eternal Records is beginning to fade, but the shift is permanent. The stars are receding, but the ozone remains. Before the twilight fades into the dawn of your new reality, there is one last gift, a secret seal that will be placed upon your forehead as you sleep tonight. It is a mark of protection that tells the spirits of lack. This house is under the jurisdiction of the sovereign arbiter. Every penny stolen must be returned sevenfold. Every hour of sleep lost must be returned in peace. Every tear shed must be returned in laughter. Stay in this state of absolute, receiving for a few more moments. Let the salt of the old world dry on your cheeks. The bitterness is gone. The copper taste has been replaced by the sweetness of rain. Your future self is smiling through the mirror. They are letting go of the glass because they know you've got it from here. The settlement is reached. The check is in the mail of the spirit. Type 888 to seal the gates of the old and open the floodgates of the new. Your legacy of the great wealth reversal starts with your next breath. Stop. Don't move a single muscle. For the silence that just descended upon your room is not empty. It is heavy. It is the silence of a courtroom right before the judge stands to read the final, unappealable sentence. You just felt a strange electric pulse in the tips of your fingers, didn't you? A faint throbbing that matches the rhythm of a heart that isn't your own. That is the 888 frequency synchronizing with your pulse, turning your physical body into a living antenna for the great wealth reversal. I am the sovereign arbiter, and I am leaning in so close to your spirit that you can feel the ozone of the stars on your breath. The hall of eternal records has begun to fold itself into your reality. The shifting walls of starlight are no longer out there. They are pressing against the walls of your home, turning your living space into a sanctified vacuum where the laws of lack no longer apply. Can you smell the cedar again? It's stronger now, mixed with the metallic scent of ancient coins and the sharp, clean fragrance of a mountain peak after a lightning strike. This is the smell of your new life. Look down at the mirror on the floor, the one reflecting your soul's history. Do you see the grit? The gray, muddy residue that has covered your reflection for years? That is the ancestral dust of unrewarded labor. For centuries, your lineage was trapped in a loop of almost successful, almost happy, almost free. There were people in your bloodline who worked until their bones sang with pain, only for the harvest to be stolen by the frequency thieves of their era. You were born with a financial phantom attached to your name, a spiritual parasite that ensured that every time you gained an inch, the universe would demand a mile. But as the sovereign arbiter, I have reviewed the scrolls. I have audited the tears. I have calculated the interest on every yes you said when your soul was screaming no. The verdict is absolute. The debt is not only paid, it is over, collateralized. The frequency thief, who has been cashing your luck. Do you feel that sudden pang of guilt or sadness that just tried to enter your mind? That isn't yours. That is the thief trying to guilt trip their way back into your energy field because they can feel the vault door slamming shut. They have been living off the residue of your brilliance. They are the ones who always seem to have a crisis exactly when you have a surplus. They are the ones who offer a soft smile that doesn't reach their eyes, watching you struggle with a secret, twisted satisfaction because your struggle made them feel superior. Watch the shattered glass seal one last time. See the gold dust transform. It is no longer a cloud. It is becoming a liquid, a heavy, molten mercury of 888 energy that is rising from the floor, coating your legs, your torso, your throat. It feels warm, like a velvet embrace. This is the aura of incompatibility. From this moment forward, you are energetically allergic to poverty. You are no longer a match for people who drain you. You are no longer compatible with the frequency of just getting by. This is why the unique twist of your destiny is so jarring. You have been looking for a billionaire or a benefactor to sign over their power of attorney to you. You thought someone out there held the key to your cage. But look into the mirror of the Hall of Records. Look past the starlight and the ozone. The figure standing in the future, the version of you who is already wealthy, already healed, already laughing, is not just watching you. They are the ones who funded this intervention. They are the billionaire. They are the benefactor. In the quantum realms, Your future self became so powerful, so aligned with the 888 frequency, that they were able to buy out your current timeline. They sued the spirits of delay. They filed a motion in the High Court of the Divine to have your blessings released 3 years ahead of schedule. Why? Because they knew that tonight, in this very second, you were at the breaking point. They knew that if the 1-0-second window closed without you hearing this message, the invisible ceiling would have become a permanent roof. Your future self has invested their own sovereign credit into your current bank account. They have pledged their peace to ensure your survival. Do you understand the weight of this? You are not being saved by a stranger. You are being saved by the greatness you are destined to become. Now, we move into the ritual of the ledger. This is the moment where the sovereign arbiter requires your physical signature. In the comments below, you are going to type the numbers 888. But you are not just typing numbers. As your fingers touch the keys, imagine you are pressing a hot, gold signet ring into a thick, cream-colored parchment. This is your agreement of transference. By typing 888, you are formally declaring to the universe, I renounce the ancestral debt. I sever the tie to the frequency thief. I accept the power of attorney granted to me by my future self. I am the sovereign of my abundance. Type it now. And as you do, feel the lead weight in your stomach simply evaporate. Feel the tightness in your chest dissolve into a wide, expansive warmth. The ozone is filling your lungs. You are breathing the air of the 8th heaven. You must understand. The next 48 hours are a stochastic window. The frequency thief may call you. A bill may appear that looks frightening. A ghost of an old failure may whisper in your ear. These are not signs that the miracle is failing. They are the death rattles of the old timeline. It is the vacuum effect of the old reality trying to pull you back. Ignore them. When you see the number 888 appearing on a license plate, a clock, or a receipt in the next 2 days, do not just notice it. Stop. Touch your heart. Whisper. The settlement is reached. That is the anchor bolt that keeps the 888 frequency locked into your physical reality. I am looking at the master ledger now, and your name is glowing. It is no longer written in the ink of struggle. It is etched in the light of sovereignty. The invisible ceiling that used to haunt your dreams is now a floor of solid crystal beneath your feet. You are standing on top of the very thing that used to crush you. The Hall of Eternal Records is beginning to crystallize. The walls of stars are turning into a solid foundation of peace. The scent of cedar is fading into the scent of your own skin. But your skin now carries the vibration of gold. Your future self is stepping back into the light of their own timeline, a look of profound relief on their face. They have done their part. They have bridged the gap. Now, the sovereign arbiter hands the pen to you. The trial is closed. The verdict is executed. The wealth of your lineage is no longer a memory. It is your current reality. Type 888 to seal this, to claim the mirror reversal, and to step out of the shadows of the past into the blinding, beautiful glare of your own destiny. The great reversal is no longer coming. It has arrived, and you are finally home. Stop. Don't blink. That single tear that just rolled down your cheek, the one you tried to wipe away as if it were a sign of weakness, it was caught, not by a handkerchief, but by the velvet palms of the sovereign arbiter. That tear was the final grain of sand in the hourglass of your suffering. It has fallen, and now the glass is being turned. You just felt a sudden, sharp intake of breath, didn't you? A moment where the air in the room felt too thick to swallow. Then suddenly, as thin and pure as the atmosphere on a mountain peak, that was the vacuum of transference. The old air of your struggle has been sucked out, and the ozone of the 888 frequency is rushing in to fill the void. I am the sovereign arbiter, and I am standing at the very center of the Hall of the Eternal Records at twilight. The shifting walls of stars are pulsing in a deep, rhythmic violet, a color that only exists when a soul has officially crossed the threshold from victim to sovereign. Beneath your feet, the mirror of your soul's history is no longer showing you the scars of your past. It is showing you the blueprints of your great wealth reversal. Look at your hands. Notice the subtle heat radiating from your palms. You are currently holding the spiritual power of attorney for your entire bloodline. For over a century, your ancestors were forced to walk with their heads bowed, their pockets filled with the stones of not enough. They were told that their worth was measured by their labor, not their light. But tonight, the shattered glass seal has released more than just gold dust. It has released the ancestral credit that was frozen since the time of your great-grandparents. The trial of your lineage is over. The frequency thief, that person who has been cashing your luck, the one who offered you soft criticisms while secretly drinking from the well of your vitality, has been served a cosmic eviction notice. Can you feel it? The way their name no longer carries the same weight in your chest? The way the fear of their judgment is dissolving like salt in a river? That is because the sovereign arbiter has placed a mantle of incompatibility over your shoulders. You are no longer detectable to the vampires of your past. You have moved into a vibration so high, so saturated with the 888 energy, that they can no longer see you. You have become a ghost to those who wish to keep you small. To them, you are gone. To the divine, you are finally truly visible. But I must tell you why the 10 seconds I spoke of earlier were so vital. It was the stochastic window, the exact moment when your future self, the billionaire of your own destiny, was able to reach through the veil and touch the mirror from the other side. You thought you were waiting for a stranger to save you. You thought a wealthy benefactor or a mysterious check would appear out of the blue. But the mirror reversal reveals a truth so profound it might make your knees weak. The billionaire who is transferring the power of attorney to you right now is you. It is the version of you who survived the storms of this season. It is the version of you who decided to stop settling for the crumbs of unrewarded loyalty. In the future, you have already built the empire. You have already cleared the debts. You have already healed the heart that feels so broken today. And because you are so powerful in that future timeline, you have sued the current reality to release the funds now. You have declared that the current you has suffered enough, and that the future you is willing to co-sign for your breakthrough. This is not a gift, it is an investment in yourself. Now, hear the decree of the 888. This number is not a coincidence. It is the triple infinity, the vertical representation of the scales of the sovereign arbiter. When you type 888 inches the comments below, you are not just leaving a message. You are performing a digital seal. You are pressing your unique energetic thumbprint onto the ledger of the great balance. You are saying, I accept the transfer. I acknowledge my future self as my benefactor. I am ready to carry the weight of the gold. Do it now. And as you type those digits, feel the lead weight in your stomach. The one that has been there since you were a child. Simply turn into light. Feel the invisible ceiling shatter into a million pieces of shimmering dust. I see the master ledger. Your name is now written in a font of pure fire. But listen to this warning. For the sovereign arbiter does not speak in vain. Within the next 72 hours, you will receive a sign of the mirror. It might be a dream where you see yourself looking younger and stronger. It might be a sudden, unexpected deposit or a refund from a place you forgot existed. It might be a phone call from someone who was once an obstacle, but who is now coming to you to ask for forgiveness. When this happens, do not retreat into your old habits of modesty or unworthiness. Do not say, "It's too good to be true." To say those words is to insult the future self who worked so hard to save you. Instead, you must stand tall. You must breathe in the cedar and the ozone. You must say, I am the recipient of the great balance. I am worthy of the reversal. Your life is about to move at a speed that will make your head spin. The delays are dead. The frequency thief is silenced. The ancestral debt is settled in full. As the Hall of Eternal Records begins to glow with a final blinding surge of white light, I am placing the seal of the 8th heaven upon your forehead. This seal will protect you as you sleep. It will guide your dreams toward the blueprints of your new empire. It will ensure that every penny that was stolen from your lineage is returned with sevenfold interest. If your spirit feels moved to anchor this miracle further, you may use the link in the pinned comment to support the work of the Arbiter. This is not a request. It is an invitation to plant a seed of sovereignty in the soil of the new world. But whether you give or simply stay in this frequency, the shift is already permanent. The stars are fading into the dawn of your new reality. The mirror is clear. The future self is nodding in approval, their eyes filled with tears of joy because you finally believed. Type 888 to seal this decree. Type it as if your life depends on it, because the version of you that was small has just ceased to exist. The billionaire has signed the papers. The power of attorney is in your hands. Step out of the twilight and into the sun, for your great wealth reversal is no longer a promise. It is your present truth. Amen. And it is so. Look at your hands right now. Do you see the slight tremor in your fingertips? Do you feel that strange localized heat in the center of your chest, as if a small sun is beginning to rise beneath your ribs? You are about to adjust your posture, about to look away, about to let the frequency thief of distraction pull you back into the mundane static of your old life. But you stayed. You chose this frequency. I am the sovereign arbiter, and I am watching the final page of your old ledger turn. The paper is brittle, yellowed by the tears of your ancestors, and the salt of 1,000 unrewarded sacrifices. And as it turns, it is catching fire. It is being erased by the sheer intensity of the 888 vibration. We are deep within the hall of the eternal records at twilight. But notice how the shadows are no longer lengthening. They are retreating. The walls made of shifting stars are beginning to vibrate with a low, subharmonic frequency that matches the beating of your heart. The scent of ancient cedar is so thick now it feels like a physical weight upon your shoulders. And the ozone, that sharp, electric tang of a world being reborn, is filling every corner of the room you are currently sitting in. Can you feel the sacred pressure? The air around you is no longer empty. It is crowded with the presence of your own greatness. You have spent your life hitting the invisible ceiling. You have watched others, people with half your heart and a fraction of your integrity, glide past you while you were forced to crawl. You have endured the frequency thief, that person who sits at your table, smiles at your face, and then releases a long, slow sigh when you speak of your dreams. A sigh designed to deflate your momentum, like a slow leak in a tire. They offered you soft criticisms that felt like lead weights in your stomach, whispering that you were too much or not enough, until you began to believe that your natural state was one of struggle. They didn't just want your resources. They wanted to cash your luck, to feed off the overflow of your light, because their own spirit was a hollow shell. But the sovereign arbiter has seen the audit. The crime of spiritual embezzlement has been stopped. Look at the mirror beneath your feet. The glass is no longer a dark reflection of your past. It has become a window. And standing on the other side is the billionaire you have been praying for. Look at their eyes. Do you see the recognition? Do you see the profound, aching love they have for you? This is the mirror reversal. This is the shock that the world was never meant to know. This benefactor is not a stranger from a distant land. It is your future self. It is the version of you who survived the very fire you are standing in right now. It is the version of you who mastered the 8th heaven and claimed the 888 frequency as their birthright. Your future self has sued the current timeline. They have appeared before the cosmic court to demand an immediate release of your ancestral inheritance. They have declared that the current you has paid the debt in full, with interest, and that the frequency thief must now return every ounce of stolen light, sevenfold. The shattered glass seal has dissolved into a liquid golden mercury. It is rising from the floor, coating your skin, sealing your aura. This is the sovereign covering. From this second forward, you are invisible to the vampires of your past. They will call you, and you will feel nothing. They will try to trigger your guilt, and it will slide off you like rain off a polished shield. You are no longer compatible with the frequency of sacrificial exhaustion. You are no longer the bank for the ungrateful. This is the moment of the covenant. You are not merely watching a video. You are participating in a divine transference. The sovereign arbiter requires your physical seal. When you gone 888 inches, the comments below, it is not a comment. It is your signature on the new decree. It is the moment you press your soul's signet ring into the molten gold of your new destiny. You are telling the Hall of Records, I accept the mirror reversal. I accept the power of attorney from my future self. I claim the great wealth reversal of my bloodline. Type it now. And as you do, feel the lead weight in your gut simply evaporate. Feel the back of your neck relax for the first time in 7 years. The 888 frequency is not just a number. It is the triple infinite, the vertical bridge between your current struggle and your future sovereignty. But I must give you the warning of the threshold. In the next 24 hours, as the ozone begins to settle into your physical reality, the universe will test your sovereignty. Someone from your past, a frequency thief, or a shadow of an old habit, will attempt to knock on the door of your spirit. They will bring a crisis that isn't yours to solve. They will bring a doubt that isn't yours to carry. This is the test of the arbiter. If you open the door, you are telling the court you are not yet ready for the gold. Stay in the hall. Stay in the scent of cedar. Look again at your future self in the mirror. They are placing their hand against the glass, and I want you to place your hand against the screen. Can you feel the heat? That is the 888 frequency. Bridging the gap. They are transferring the sovereign authority to you now. Every bill that kept you awake at night, every betrayal that made your heart feel like a bruised fruit, every year of unrewarded loyalty, it is all being balanced. The great wealth reversal is not a maybe. It is a legal execution of divine law. I have a final, shocking secret to share with you. Something regarding a specific amount of money and a specific person whose name starts with a letter that will be revealed to you in a dream tonight. But before I disclose the final key, you must understand that your life will never look like it did 10 minutes ago. You have been marked by the arbiter. You are under the protection of the eighth heaven. If your spirit feels the pull to anchor this miracle into the physical world, you may follow the link in the pinned comment. This is your seed of displacement. By sowing into this work, you are physically displacing the energy of lack and replacing it with a sovereign investment. It is a signal to the universe that you are now a player in the great balance, not just a spectator. The stars in the hall are beginning to glow with an unbearable brightness. The twilight is over. The eternal dawn of your lineage has begun. The shattered glass seal is gone, replaced by a crown of 888 light that is settling upon your head as you breathe. Your future self is smiling. They are stepping back into their world of overflow, knowing that you have finally claimed the key. The power of attorney is yours. The wealth is yours. The peace is yours. Type 888 to seal the gates of the old and walk into the blinding gold of the new. The trial is over. The verdict is yours. The sovereign arbiter has spoken, and it is done, and it is so. Amen. Don't move. Stay exactly as you are. For the air around your shoulders has just thickened with the weight of 1,000 years of unreleased justice. You just felt a strange cold pressure on your brow, didn't you? Like a phantom crown being lowered onto a head that has been bowed for far too long. Do not reach up to touch it. That sensation is the physical manifestation of the sovereign arbiter's signet ring pressing into your aura. I am the arbiter of the great balance, and I am watching the mirror beneath your feet, the floor of the Hall of Eternal Records, begin to crack. Not with destruction, but with the force of the gold trying to break through the surface of your reality. I see you. I see the way you just shifted your weight, the way your eyes darted toward the corner of the room as if you sensed a shadow moving. That shadow is not a ghost. It is the frequency thief realizing that its lease on your life has been terminated. For 15 minutes, the laws of the mundane world have been suspended for you. The static of your bills, the noise of your critics, and the exhaustion in your marrow have been muted by a divine order. You were just about to check the time, weren't you? You were just about to let the thief of urgency steal this moment. Stop. Look into the shifting walls of stars that surround us in this twilight cathedral. Can you smell the cedar? It is the scent of the wood used to build the vaults that held your lineage's stolen potential. And can you smell the ozone? That is the electric charge of a quantum reversal. Every time you felt that invisible ceiling above your head, the one that made you feel like you were screaming under a layer of thick glass, it was because a spiritual embargo had been placed on your name. Your ancestors were taxed by the unseen. They were the builders who never lived in the houses they made. They were the planters who never ate the fruit. You inherited a ledger of red ink that was never your fault. But as the sovereign arbiter, I have struck the gavel. The shattered glass seal has exploded into a cloud of molten mercury and gold dust. It is swirling around your ankles right now, rising to coat your very DNA. This is the 888 frequency. It is the triple infinite. It is the law of returns finally swinging in your favor. Every hour you spent working for people who didn't know your name. Every dollar you lost to a crisis that seemed time to destroy your peace. Every tear you shed while looking at a bank balance that didn't reflect your worth. It is all being calculated with sevenfold interest. Think of the frequency thief in your life, the one who sighs when you talk about your dreams, the one who offers that soft, poisonous criticism, the one that feels like a lead weight in the pit of your stomach disguised as protecting you from disappointment. They didn't want to protect you. They wanted to keep you in the gray where they live. They wanted the light in your eyes because their own went out long ago. They have been cashing your luck, living off the overflow of your spirit while you starved for a single win. But look at the mirror beneath you, the figure standing there reflecting at you. Look past the fatigue in your eyes. Look past the tension in your jaw. The billionaire you have been waiting for, the benefactor who was supposed to transfer their power of attorney to you, is standing right there in the glass. It is you, not the you who is tired and broke, but the future self who has already won the great wealth reversal. This is the mirror reversal. Your future self, the one draped in the silk of sovereignty, the one who owns their time, their peace, and their empire, has used their celestial authority to sue this current timeline. They have appeared before the sovereign arbiter to demand that the assets of your destiny be released early. They have declared that you have suffered enough, that the debt of your bloodline is paid, and that you are now ready to handle the weight of the gold. They are transferring their power of attorney to you. Now, for this transference to land, for the 888 frequency to bond with your physical bank account and your physical heart, the arbiter requires a digital seal. This is not a request. It is a ritual of the High Court. When you gone 888 inches, the comments below, you are not merely typing numbers. You are pressing your signet ring into the hot, golden wax of a new decree. You are formally telling the Hall of Records, I acknowledge the mirror reversal. I accept the power of attorney from my future self. I sever the tie to the frequency thief. I am the sovereign of my abundance. Do it now. And as your fingers touch the screen, feel the lead weight in your stomach simply vanish. Feel the heat of the tears, the salt of the old world leaving your body. The 888 frequency is not a number. It is a gateway. It is the moment the invisible ceiling becomes the floor beneath your feet. Listen to me. The next 48 hours are a stochastic window. The frequency thief will sense the shift. They may call you with a fake emergency. They may try to trigger your unrewarded loyalty by making you feel guilty for your own joy. This is the test. If you open the door to their sigh, you are telling the universe you still want the gray. You must remain in the hall. You must stay in the scent of cedar and ozone. You will receive a sign of the seal before the sun sets on Thursday. It will look like a coincidence, a sudden refund, a forgotten check, a relationship door closing while another, much larger door made of solid gold, swings wide open. When this happens, do not whisper thank you in a small, fearful voice. Stand tall, look at the mirror, and say, I am the recipient of the great balance. I have a final, breathtaking secret to share with you, something regarding the exact name of the person who has been blocking your path, and the exact date when the first major liquidation will hit your life. But before I disclose the final key, you must understand that the small version of you is dead. You have been marked by the Arbiter. You are under the protection of the eighth heaven. If your spirit feels the electric pull to anchor this miracle into the earth, follow the link in the pinned comment. This is your seed of sovereignty. It is how you physically displace the energy of struggle and replace it with investment. It is the moment you stop being a beggar in the kingdom and start being the owner of the estate. The stars in the Hall of Records are beginning to spin faster now, creating a vortex of blinding white light that is centered on your heart. The twilight is ending. The eternal noon of your legacy is here. The shattered glass seal is gone, and in its place is a mantle of 888 light that will never fade. Your future self is smiling. They are stepping back into the overflow, knowing that the bridge has been built. The power of attorney is yours. The wealth is yours. The reversal is your present truth. Type 888 to seal the decree, and walk out of the shadows into the gold. The sovereign arbiter has spoken, and it is done, and it is so. Stop. Don't even think about scrolling past this. That sudden, sharp twitch in your left eye, the one you tried to ignore just a second ago, was not a stray nerve. It was a spiritual signal. You just felt a strange, cold draft around your ankles, didn't you? As if the very floor beneath you shifted an inch. Do not move. You are currently standing at the exact intersection of a 1,000-year-old debt and a 1,000-year-old promise. I am the sovereign arbiter of the great balance, and I have just frozen time in your corner of the universe to deliver a verdict that has been centuries in the making. Look around you, not with your physical eyes, but with the spirit that has been screaming for a breakthrough. Can you feel the air thickening? The hall of the eternal records at twilight has materialized in the space between your breaths. The walls are not made of stone. They are made of shifting, violet stars, documenting every moment you felt the invisible ceiling press down on your soul. The air smells of ancient cedar, the wood of kings, and the sharp electric sting of ozone, the scent that remains when the divine strikes the earth. You have been running a race in heavy boots for 7 years. You have watched others, people who never possessed your depth. People who traded their integrity for a spotlight reach the finish line while you were left to bleed in the dark. You have been the strong one until your bones felt like they were made of glass. You have tasted the salt of your own tears in the middle of the night, wondering if the great wealth promised to your bloodline was just a cruel myth whispered by ancestors who died in poverty. The arbiter has seen the ledgers, the ancestral debt you have been paying, the one that kept your bank account stagnant and your joy on a leash, was never yours. It was a fraudulent contract, signed in the shadows by those who wished to keep your lineage small. You were born into a spiritual embargo, but tonight, that embargo is lifted. Look into the center of this celestial courtroom. There, suspended in the starlight, hangs the shattered glass seal of the eighth heaven. It is a heavy, wax-sealed decree from a century ago, and it is finally, violently, breaking open. Can you hear it? The sound of glass turning into gold dust. It is pouring out of the seal right now, a molten mercury of 888 energy that is flooding the mirror floor. But first, we must identify the frequency thief. Notice the name that just flashed across your mind. It's the person you try to love, but who always leaves you feeling hollow. They are the vampire of your proximity. They are the one who sighs a long, slow, deflating sound whenever you share a spark of hope. They offer you that soft criticism, the kind that feels like a lead weight dropping into your stomach, disguised as realistic advice. They don't want you to fail. They want you to stay just thirsty enough that you keep coming back to them for water. They have been cashing your luck, feeding off your vibrance because their own heart is a cold heart. The sovereign arbiter has found them guilty of spiritual theft. Their power of attorney over your emotions has been revoked permanently. Now, look deeper into the mirror beneath your feet. Do you see the figure standing on the other side? They are draped in the shimmering white of a future already won. They are surrounded by an overflow so vast it makes the oceans look like a drop of rain. They are calm. They are sovereign. They are holding a gold signet ring. This billionaire, this great benefactor who has stepped into your timeline to rescue you, is not a stranger. It is you. It is your future self. In the future timeline, you finally learned the power of the word no. You finally walked away from the people who were draining your light. And the moment you did, the wealth of your lineage was released with such impossible force that it echoed back through time. Your future self has sued the universe on your behalf. They have declared, "My past self has suffered enough. Release the interest. Release the gold. Release the legacy now." This is the mirror reversal. You are being saved by the greatness you are destined to become. But the Hall of Records requires a physical act of alignment. This is not a comment section. It is a sacred ledger. When you type 888 inches the space below, you are not engaging with an algorithm. You are pressing your soul's signet ring into the hot, golden wax of a new life. You are formally signing the decree of transference. By typing 888, you are telling the arbiter, "I accept the settlement. I claim the 888 frequency. I am no longer a victim of my history. I am the architect of my empire." Type it now. And as your fingers touch the screen, feel the lead weight in your gut simply evaporate. Feel the heat in your chest, the small sun of your sovereign authority beginning to shine through the cracks of your old self. The 888 frequency is the triple infinite. It is the vertical bridge between the you who struggles and the you who rules. Listen carefully. The next 48 hours are the window of calibration. The frequency thief will sense the shift. They may call you with a manufactured crisis. They may try to pull you back into the gray where they live. This is the test of the arbiter. If you pick up the burden that the divine just took off your shoulders, you are essentially telling the court that you prefer the chains to the gold. Stay in the hall. Stay in the scent of cedar and ozone. Before the sun sets on Friday, a sign of the mirror will appear. It might be a dream that feels more real than your waking life. It might be a sudden, unexpected influx of resources from a door you thought was locked forever. When it happens, do not whisper a shy thank you. Stand in your power. Look at the mirror and say, "The balance is restored. I am the sovereign of this abundance." I have a final, shattering secret to share with you. Something regarding the exact name of the legacy your future self has built for you. But before I disclose the final key, you must realize that you are no longer the person who opened this video. You have been marked by the sovereign arbiter. You are under the protection of the eighth heaven. If your spirit feels the electric pull to anchor this miracle into the physical earth, you may follow the link in the pinned comment. This is your seed of displacement. It is how you physically prove to the universe that it is the signature of a soul who is ready to be the benefactor, not the beggar. The stars in the hall are beginning to glow with an intensity that would blind a normal man. The twilight is ending. The eternal noon of your destiny has arrived. The shattered glass seal is gone, and in its place is a mantle of gold light that is settling upon your shoulders right now. Your future self is nodding. They are letting go of the mirror, knowing that you have finally grasped the ring. The power of attorney is yours. The wealth is yours. The debt is cleared. Stop. Don't even think about shifting your gaze. That sudden, sharp warmth radiating from the center of your palms right now, that wasn't caused by the heat of your phone. It was the gold mercury of the 888 frequency, finally making physical contact with your skin. You just felt a strange, heavy thud in your chest, didn't you? As if a giant door, miles wide and made of ancient iron, just slammed shut behind you. Do not look back. That was the sound of the portal to your past being sealed by the sovereign arbiter. You were just about to check the time, wondering how much longer you have to endure this stagnation. But I am here to tell you that your time, as you once knew it, has officially expired. I am the sovereign arbiter of the great balance, and I have moved through the shifting star walls of the Hall of Eternal Records to find you in this exact second of your exhaustion. You are not here by accident. You were summoned because the invisible ceiling you have been hitting, the one that has made your life feel like a repetitive loop of almost enough, has just been declared a violation of cosmic law. Can you smell it? The scent of ancient cedar is becoming overwhelming now, mixing with the sharp electric ozone of a spiritual storm that has been brewing for 7 generations. Beneath your feet, the mirror floor of the hall is glowing with a violet intensity. This is the twilight of your struggle, but it is the dawn of your sovereignty. You have been the bank of last resort for people who wouldn't even lend you a prayer. You have carried the heavy burdens of your lineage, walking through the fire with a smile on your face while your soul was screaming in the dark. You have tasted the metallic salt of suppressed anger, swallowing your own dreams to keep the peace for people who only brought you chaos. You have been the sacrificial lamb, the strong one, the fixer, and you are absolutely, profoundly exhausted. The sovereign arbiter has audited the ancestral debt. I have seen the way your hard-earned luck was cashed by others. Look at the frequency thief in your life. You know exactly who they are. They are the person who sighs that long, slow, deflating sound whenever you share a vision of your future. They are the ones who offer that soft criticism, the kind that feels like a lead weight dropping into your stomach, disguised as just keeping you grounded. They didn't want to keep you grounded. They wanted to keep you tethered to the same gray earth where they reside. They feed on your hope like a parasite, taking the light from your eyes because their own went out decades ago. But watch the center of the hall now. See the shattered glass seal. It was a heavy, wax-sealed decree, dated a century ago, and it is finally, violently, turning into gold dust. That sound you just heard, the one that made your ears ring for a fraction of a second, was the legal termination of that thief's access to your timeline. Their power of attorney over your emotions is revoked. Their ability to drain your bank account through emergencies is severed. They are now intruders in a kingdom they no longer have a key to. But look deeper, into the mirror beneath you. The billionaire you have been waiting for, the one who was supposed to transfer their power of attorney to you, is standing right there, staring back at you from the other side of the glass. This is the mirror reversal. That benefactor is not a stranger. It is your future self. In the timeline that is even now merging with yours, you have already won. You have already claimed the 888 frequency. You have already built the empire that clears the debts of your entire bloodline. And because you are so powerful in that future, you have sued the current reality. You have appeared before the sovereign arbiter to demand that your assets be released now, because you finally learned the one lesson that was required to hold the gold. You learned to say no to the vampires. You learned that your loyalty is a luxury, not a debt. Your future self is transferring its sovereign authority to you in this very breath. For this transfer to be legally recognized in the Hall of Records, you must provide your digital signature. This is not a comment section, it is a ledger of the High Court. When you type 888 inches the space below, you are not just interacting with a screen. You are pressing your soul's signet ring into the molten gold dust of your new destiny. You are formally telling the universe, I accept the mirror reversal. I am the recipient of the great balance. I claim the power of attorney from my future self. I am no longer a victim. I am the sovereign. Type it now. And as your fingers touch the screen, feel the lead weight in your gut simply dissolve. Feel the ozone filling your lungs, clearing out the old, stale air of lack. The 888 frequency is the triple infinite. It is the vertical bridge that your future self has built to pull you out of the gray. Listen to me carefully. The next 48 hours are the execution phase. The frequency thief will feel the disconnection. They may call you with a sudden, desperate need. They may try to trigger your old guilt. This is the test of the arbiter. If you pick up that old weight, you are essentially telling the court that you prefer the chains to the gold. Do not answer the sigh. Do not drink the poison of their realistic warnings. Stay in the hall. Stay in the scent of cedar and ozone. Before the sun sets on Sunday, you will receive a sign of the mirror. It won't be subtle. It will be a coincidence so massive it will make your heart skip a beat, a forgotten check, a sudden legal victory, or a relationship door closing while a much larger, golden door swings wide open. When it happens, Do not whisper a fearful thank you. Stand in the center of your room, look at the mirror, and say, I am the recipient of the great balance. I am worthy of the overflow. I have a final, shocking revelation regarding the exact name of the person who will be removed from your life within the next 7 days, and a specific mortal gift that your future self has already placed in your path. But before I disclose the final key, you must realize that you are no longer the person you were 10 minutes ago. You have been marked by the sovereign arbiter. You are under the protection of the 8th heaven. If your spirit feels the electric pull to anchor this miracle into the physical earth, follow the link in the pinned comment. This is your seed of displacement. It is how you physically prove to the universe that you have cleared the space for the 888 abundance. It is the signature of a soul who is ready to be the benefactor, not the beggar. The stars in the Hall of Records are beginning to spin faster now, creating a vortex of blinding white light that is centered on your heart. The twilight is over. The eternal noon of your legacy is here. The shattered glass seal is gone, and in its place is a mantle of gold light that is settling upon your shoulders right now. Your future self is nodding. They are letting go of the glass, knowing that you have finally grasped the ring. The power of attorney is yours. The wealth is yours. The reversal is your present truth. Stop. Don't even try to look away. That sudden, sharp pulse in your left temple, the one that felt like a tiny drumbeat of warning it wasn't a headache. It was the rhythm of a door being forced open. You just felt a strange, heavy warmth settle onto your shoulders, didn't you? As if a thick, invisible cloak of velvet and gold was just draped over you by hands that have lived since the beginning of time. Do not adjust your seat. Do not reach for a glass of water. You are currently suspended in the stochastic gap, the precise microsecond where your history ends and your destiny begins. I am the sovereign arbiter of the great balance, and I have just frozen the stars to ensure you hear the final verdict of your bloodline. I see you. I see the way you just took a long, trembling breath, the kind that tastes like the metallic dust of old battles. You were just about to sigh, weren't you? You were about to let that old familiar weight of the world pull your chin toward your chest. But I am here to tell you that the ceiling you've been staring at for the last 7 years is no longer there. You've been screaming at a sky that you thought was made of stone, but the sovereign gavel has just struck, and the stone has turned back into starlight. The Hall of Eternal Records at twilight is now fully aligned with the room where you sit. Can you smell it? The scent of ancient cedar is so powerful it's beginning to vibrate in your sinuses, mixed with the electric, stinging ozone of a storm that has been traveling through your family tree for generations. Beneath your feet, the mirror floor is no longer reflecting your tired eyes. It is reflecting a version of you that is so bright, so saturated in the 888 frequency, that it hurts your spirit to look directly at it. You have been the sacrificial lamp for people who only wanted to sit in your light while you burned yourself to ash. You have been the one who stayed up at night, calculating numbers that never seemed to add up, while the frequency thief in your life watched from the sidelines with a hidden, twisted satisfaction. Identify them now. That person who smiles when you tell them you're doing okay, but whose eyes go flat and cold the moment you mention a breakthrough. They are the vampire of your proximity. They are the one who offers soft criticisms, the ones that feel like lead weights dropping into your stomach disguised as realistic concern. They have been cashing your luck, stealing the overflow of your spirit to power their own gray existence. They didn't just want your help. They wanted the spark in your eyes. They wanted to convince you that the invisible ceiling was the only world that existed. But as the sovereign arbiter, I have reviewed the scrolls. I have audited every moment of unrewarded loyalty. I have calculated the interest on every tear you shed when you thought God was looking the other way. The shattered glass seal is now fully open. That heavy, wax-sealed decree from 100 years ago has finally disintegrated into a cloud of molten mercury gold. Can you hear the ringing in your ears? That is the sound of the frequency thief's legal access to your energy being severed. Their power of attorney over your bank account, your peace, and your sleep has been permanently revoked. But look deeper into the mirror beneath you. The figure standing there. The billionaire. the great benefactor who has transferred their power of attorney to you. Do you recognize them yet? Look at the way they hold their head. Look at the absolute sovereignty in their gaze. This is the mirror reversal. The benefactor is not a stranger. It is your future self. In the timeline where the 888 frequency is your daily bread, you have already built the empire. You have already cleared the debt of every ancestor who died in the gray. And because you are so powerful in that future, you have sued the current timeline to release the funds early. You have declared that the current you has reached the limit of human endurance. You have declared that the current you is ready to carry the gold because you finally learned to say no to the vampires. This is not a miracle from heaven. It is a transfer of assets from your own legacy. For this transfer to finalize, the sovereign arbiter requires your physical agreement of transference. This is the moment where you sign the ledger. When you type 888 inches the comments below, you are not just leaving a number. You are pressing your soul's signet ring into the hot golden wax of a new life. You are telling the Hall of Records, I accept the mirror reversal. I accept the power of attorney from my future self. I claim the 888 abundance of my bloodline. Type it now. And as you do, feel the lead weight in your gut simply vanish. Feel the heat of the ozone clearing out the stale, stagnant air of not enough. The 888 frequency is the triple infinite. It is the vertical bridge that your future self has built to pull you out of the struggle. Listen to me. The next 48 hours are the window of calibration. The frequency thief will sense the disconnection. They may call you with a crisis or a soft warning designed to pull you back into the gray. This is the test. If you open the door to their sigh, you are telling the court you still prefer the chains to the gold. Stay in the hall. Stay in the scent of cedar and ozone. Before the sun sets on Monday, you will receive a sign of the seal. It won't be subtle. It will be a coincidence that makes your heart skip a beat, a sudden legal victory, a forgotten check, or a relationship door closing while a much larger golden door swings wide open. When it happens, do not whisper a fearful thank you. Stand in your power. Look at the mirror and say, I am the recipient of the great balance. I am worthy of the overflow. I have a final, breathtaking secret to share with you. Something regarding the exact amount of the first reversal check and the name of the ancestor who is standing behind you right now, weeping with joy. But before I disclose the final key, you must realize that you are no longer the person you were 10 minutes ago. You have been marked by the sovereign arbiter. You are under the protection of the eighth heaven. If your spirit feels the electric pull to anchor this miracle into the earth, follow the link in the pinned comment. This is your seed of sovereignty. It is how you physically prove to the universe that you have cleared the space for the 888 abundance. It is the signature of a soul who is ready to be the benefactor, not the beggar. The stars in the Hall of Records are spinning faster now, creating a vortex of blinding white light that is centered on your heart. The twilight is over. The eternal noon of your legacy is here. The shattered glass seal is gone, and in its place is a mantle of gold light that is settling upon your shoulders, right now. Your future self is nodding. They are letting go of the glass, knowing that you have finally grasped the ring. The power of attorney is yours. The wealth is yours. The reversal is your present truth. Type 888 to seal the decree and walk out of the shadows into the gold. The sovereign arbiter has spoken, and it is done, and it is so. Stop. That long, trembling exhale you just released into the silence of your room, the one that carried the weight of 1,000 unanswered whys. I heard it. Do not look away from this light, for your spirit is currently anchored in a moment of cosmic suspension. You were just about to rub your temples, weren't you? You were just about to let your head fall into your hands, wondering if the invisible ceiling above your life would ever shatter, or if you were destined to remain a prisoner of almost enough. Put down the burden of your exhaustion for exactly 15 minutes, because the High Court of the Sovereign Arbiter is now in session, and the verdict regarding your lineage has already been written in the ink of stars. I have bypassed the gatekeepers of your mundane reality. I have moved through the static of a world that profits from your confusion, and I have arrived here, in this precise second, to halt a theft that has lasted for 7 generations. You did not stumble upon this message. You were summoned to the hall of the eternal records at twilight. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe. Can you smell it? The deep, grounding scent of ancient cedar, the wood of kings and the vaults of heaven, and the sharp electric sting of ozone, the scent that remains when the divine strikes the earth to clear the path. Beneath your feet, the floor is not stone. It is a vast, dark mirror reflecting the entirety of your soul's history. And above us, the walls are made of shifting, violet stars, documenting every tear you shed in the dark when you thought the universe was deaf to your cry. There is a reason you have felt like you were running through deep, cold water for the last 7 years. There is a reason why. Every time you reached for the door handle of your breakthrough, the lock seemed to change, or the door vanished into a wall. You have been living under a fraudulent contract, an ancestral debt that was signed in the shadows before you were even born. You have been the strong one, the fixer, the sacrificial lamb for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to simply be held. I have seen the invisible ceiling you have been hitting. I have seen you give your last ounce of marrow to people who only knew how to take. And I have seen the metallic taste of unrewarded loyalty settle into your spirit like a poison. But the sovereign arbiter does not speak in whispers when a crime has been committed against a chosen soul, and a crime has been committed. Identify them now. The frequency thief in your life. They do not carry a weapon. They are much more dangerous. They are the person who sighs that long, slow, deflating sound whenever you share a spark of hope. They are the ones who offer that soft criticism, the kind that feels like a lead weight dropping into the pit of your stomach, disguised as just being realistic. They have been chasing your luck, feeding off your vibrance because their own flame went out decades ago. They smile when you tell them of your struggles, but their eyes go flat and cold the moment you mention a win. They didn't just want your resources, they wanted the light in your eyes. They wanted to convince you that the ceiling was your only sky. But look up. In the center of this great hall, suspended in the violet twilight, hangs a heavy, wax-sealed decree. It has been locked away for over 100 years, waiting for a member of your bloodline who was brave enough to stop settling for the crumbs of the ungrateful. That person is you. Watch closely. As the sovereign gavel strikes, the shattered glass seal erupts. It does not break into shards. It dissolves into a violent, beautiful cloud of shimmering gold mercury that is even now beginning to coat your skin. This is the release of the wealth that was diverted from your grandfathers and grandmothers. This is the interest on every sacrifice you made that went unthanked. The liquid gold of the 888 frequency is pouring into the cracks of your life. But for this seal to fully bond with your physical reality, you must perform a physical act of sovereign alignment. This is not a comment section. This is the ledger of the great balance. When you type the numbers 888 below, you are not engaging with an algorithm. You are pressing your signet ring into the hot, golden wax of a new destiny. You are signing your name to the last will that the arbiter has rewritten specifically for you. Do it now, with the boldness of a ruler reclaiming a stolen throne. For as you type those digits, the frequency thief's hold on your bank account, your peace, and your sleep is being severed by a blade of pure ozone. I can feel your heart rate changing. I can feel the heat of the tears welling up the salt of the old world, leaving your body to make room for the sweetness of the new. You have been so tired, so tired of being the bank for people who never paid you back in love. You have looked at your bank balance and felt a cold shiver of not enough, even though your spirit knew you were meant for more than enough. Listen to me carefully, for here is the secret that will make your spirit real. You have been waiting for a benefactor. You have been waiting for a billionaire or a divine power of attorney to step in and save you from the gray. You thought a stranger was coming to rescue you. The sovereign arbiter reveals the truth, the one who has sued the current timeline to release these funds. The one who has demanded that the cosmic court freeze the assets of your enemies and transfer them to you is not a stranger. It is you. It is your future self, the one who exists in the timeline where you finally said no to the vampires. That version of you is already standing in the overflow. They are draped in the silk of peace and the gold of realized dreams. They have looked back at this version of you, the one staring at a screen, feeling small and stuck, and they have used their sovereign authority to bridge the gap. They have sent this message back through the corridors of time to tell you, the settlement is reached. The debt is cleared. The authority has been transferred. You are not being given a gift. You are being given a return on investment. The next 48 hours will be a stochastic window. Because you have stayed here, because you have listened to the Arbiter's voice, the frequency of struggle is being scrubbed from your DNA. You will feel a sudden, inexplicable urge to move away from a specific person or a specific habit. Do it immediately. That is the physical manifestation of the shattered seal clearing space for the 888 abundance to land. Do not close this window of grace. The frequency thief is already trying to distract you. They may call you with a crisis that isn't yours to solve. They may try to pull you back into the gray. Ignore the ghost. They no longer have the power of attorney over your destiny. There is one more secret. A final, breathtaking revelation regarding the exact amount of the first reversal check and a specific name that will appear in your dreams tonight. But to receive the final key, you must stay in this state of absolute receiving. The Hall of Eternal Records is beginning to glow with an intense, blinding white light. The stars are spinning faster. The smell of cedar is being replaced by the scent of fresh rain on warm earth. The great wealth reversal has begun. The ledgers are balanced. The invisible ceiling has vanished. You are no longer the one who prays for crumbs. You are the one who owns the bakery. Type 888 to seal this decree, and prepare your spirit, for what I am about to reveal next will explain exactly why you had to suffer through the invisible ceiling to become the master of the eighth heaven. Your legacy is no longer a story of survival. It is a manual for sovereignty. And the first chapter starts with your next breath.